left-hand corner of Atlanta Spaceship, we have our blue Protoss player from the Team Prime, our two-time reigning Fight Club champion, trying to make it 3 in this game. It's Creator. His opponent here at the 12 o'clock position is our orange Terran player, the Tal Terran, winning the last game, needs to win 2 more in a row. Can he do it? It's FXO Gumiho.
Really anxious to see what Creator has planned on this map. You know, there's only 2 left in the map pool, so if you want to try to close it out, I guess this is his choice. Very interesting that he didn't go with Entomb Valley.
Yeah.
A lot of, well, you know, I've actually, for example, Froden and I disagreed on that map into specifics. What are your thoughts, Kevin, on Entomb Valley as the choice here again, or as not taking that as the choice versus here on Atlanta Spaceship?
Well, you and I have talked before about kind of the finer points of PvT on Entomb Valley and how weird it can be as far as like late game positioning with Vikings over those bases in the middle and having opportunities to strike at multiple bases at once, stuff like that.
We basically, I think it all boiled down to, in like a sentence, it was High Templars are great on that map in the early and mid game. And they are best used defensively. Colossus are really good at offense, but you can't use them defensively.
Exactly.
On Entomb Valley.
But I kind of like this from Creator Prime. This is another giant map. This is our largest 2-player map. This is him again, kind of like Whirlwind, saying, you're going to do something aggressive at me, you're going to give me time to prepare for this. So I'm going to play a giant map, we're going to play a long, protracted macro game, and we're going to go from there. Now, this is also a map where Creator Prime could actually turn that on its head and do a 5-gate.
Yeah, that's completely true. It's worked out for him every game so far in this set. We'll see if it does here versus Gumiho. Gumiho not going to be opening with any sort of 2-rack shenanigans this time around. They'll be playing very standard 1-gate expand, but 1-racks expand, but notably doesn't build the second supply depot, Kevin.
Yeah, so looking very close to what he did last game, actually. This is the way he opened up, and we saw the success he had there. Now, of course, is the Cloak Banshee Heavy Hellion setup going to do that well for him again this time? Well, maybe not. I mean, Creator's already seen it once. He knows what to look for now. But I do like the potential of getting out there and just opening up with some good, solid macro play.
Interesting to see. We've got, of course, the Orbital Command Center started up, but Creator is not going to be biting the bait at all. Creator reads these incredibly well. Let's just highlight that once again. In this situation, actually, he has opted to, if we take a look at his main base, he's got another, or actually it's his first assimilator going down, and his gateway just getting underway. So he's opened extremely greedy on this map, and that's going to serve him quite well here against Gumiho.
All right, well, we'll see what Gumiho's up to here in a second. Decides to go for a single gas after the 1-racks expand, and that's actually a little bit different strategy than he's gone with so far. There's double gas afterwards. Okay, so we may actually be looking at the reactored Hellions once again. He has a lot of flexibility from this, but when he's decided to go for a quick medevac strike, he actually, as we have a little bit of bunker pressure, although this is going to get shut down.
Yeah, he didn't 2-racks this game. He kind of wishes he did.
Oh, wow. 1 worker already killed.
What?
2 workers killed by that Marine, and that's proven to be very effective for Gumiho so far.
Wow. That's just demoralizing, simply put.
Yeah. All right, that was designed just to pull a couple of probes, and then that gets canceled, but no damage is done other than lost mining time. But Gumiho stealing 2 worker kills with that, he's pretty happy.
Oh, yeah. Quite entranced by, well, he's probably going to be sitting in wonder, like, how'd you lose 2 probes there? Creator's going to be asking himself the same thing, and those aren't questions, Kevin, you want to be asking yourself when your opponent is only 1 game away from tying up a 9-game series. Best
All
of
right.
9.
Well, Gumiho now settling back on what looks like a reactored Hellion build.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting with that again, it has flexibility in this, as we mentioned before. Could go into Banshees, and it certainly did work out for him last time. Creator going for a decidedly different strategy, though, and now's about the time we need to see other structures hitting for Creator, but what are those going to be?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It is about the time we do see this. It is, what, 5? His second gas is actually just getting to finish up this late, and this actually would make a lot of sense if he opted to go for some sort of super fast third, because his gas is, I mean, astronomically late.
You know what's really cool on this map, too?
What's that?
That parting 3 base, 8 nexus, crush your opponent kind of thing.
There's nothing in the world I love more than 8 nexus.
Yeah. Then, I'm sorry, 8 gate. 3 Nexus, 8 gate.
I like 8 Nexus too, man. It's Infinity Chrono Boost.
Well, it was pretty funny because the only time I've ever tried something that had that many Nexuses is when I was playing 4v4 with Chef, Chill, and, I forgot who the last person was. And we ended up, they convinced me to go.
That's the only one tuning in right now, by the way.
They convinced me to go 5 Nexus Void Ray, and they protected me while I did it, and then I just ended up just producing nonstop off of like 7 Stargates the entire game. It was fantastic. Anyway, that point aside, it does look like we're going to see Banshees again.
Yep.
Unless he does something crazy. Nope, looks like it's just going to be pretty normal 3 command center stuff, and 3 Nexus, 4 gates so far. Certainly not 8 Nexuses.
Yeah, he's going to be following this up with a lot of units, which is going to be excellent for him. He will have the units necessary to make Stalkers, especially if he throws down a 3rd gas here in a moment or two. With the Robo especially, we should be seeing that.
Yes.
But I'm still a little concerned for Gumiho, definitely, or excuse me, for Creator. Gumiho has the potential to deal some serious damage here, as that Robo is going to be very late, but the timing of it might be such that the Observer is like halfway across the map when the Banshees arrive.
Stalker gets picked off, I should say. And only a Marine in return, and a force field wasted. So a good little trade for Gumiho, too. And those are the kind of things he especially needs, given the fact that...
I mean, 2 probes, and...
Yeah.
He's dealt some nice little damage, little poke damage, but this 3rd is scary, man.
It is, but he has 3rd command center himself, so he's going to be able to... Of course, when Terrans get early 3rd command centers, they saturate 2 bases as fast as is humanly possible, and then they switch over that 3rd command center whenever it's a little bit safer.
Well, trying to get some damage in. Nice focus fire on that sentry, by the way.
Yeah.
Very nice attention to detail there out of Gumiho. The Banshee, I believe that is the Banshee making its way across the map at this point. It is, in fact. Cloak nearly completed. The Observer is 3/4 of the way done, and looks like I was a little off on the timings here. In fact, this Observer will be popping out just... Look at this.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect.
Perfect timing here.
All right. He sees Robotics Facility. He does not cancel Cloak, though. Cloak is just about to finish up, and there it is.
Gotta wonder if he managed to get a peek at the Observer, but hey, this is also a great, long, drawn-out harassment tool. Cloak is fantastic at pulling your opponent's Observers to different directions of the map, making them expend additional gas, and slowing down the ability for them to begin pumping Colossus. 2nd Observer started up right now. It's going to use some more gas. Gumiho's going to come into this 3rd. He'll have a couple probes.
Yeah, I mean, and I do just mean a couple. In fact, he only grabs 1 before he's forced out of there once again. So the Banshee's not completely dealt with, but it does pull forces out of position. Gumiho, with the intention to move in here and do a little bit more economic damage, snags a few probes, gets out of there without losing a Hellion.
And this lends towards one of the reasons that we always hear players nowadays touting the advantages. By the way, Banshee getting taken out here, but touting the advantages of leaving your probes to mine while a Banshee's shooting at them.
Yeah.
You see less and less players nowadays pulling them away exactly for this reason. Hellions have become more popular in PvT. Consequently, if you try to transit your probes away from a Banshee, you have the potential to lose them.
Well, Hellion should make pretty quick work of these Zealots here. Of course, they do have the increased damage against light units, although they do require to be microed.
Yeah.
1 Hellion did end up falling. The rest are pretty low in health, but SCVs are now there to repair those back up to full.
They will be doing exactly that, along and quite arduous process that's going to be there for those mechanics. Those are some battered Hellions. But overall, Gumiho's going to be plenty glad that a bunch of them are still alive there. It's half the cost to repair a unit as it is to actually make the unit. So that's quite a bit of money saved, even though they're all very, very low health. He's going to catch a pylon out here in the middle of the map as well. Gumiho, having secured that 3rd base, will now be able to do some economic catch-up, might we say. But I like his double engineering bay right now, as opposed to the, once again, single upgrades we're seeing out of Creator here.
And yeah, we are settling down towards a little bit longer game. But yeah, Creator, I mean, he's only gone Double Forge once, and he actually lost that game.
Yeah.
So it's he's decided to completely switch up what his normal strategies are.
It's pretty interesting seeing him go for such something so different here versus Gumiho. But of course, catering to Gumiho's playstyle to a certain degree. It's actually what we talked about, Kev. In these games, Creator is playing balanced. He's not playing with the characteristic greed that we expect from Creator because he's being a little bit safer against Gumiho's potential aggression. And we're seeing Gumiho go for these very, very greedy plays, which are actually doing pretty well against the balanced play of Creator. It's these games, the games that Gumiho is winning. It's not the games where Gumiho opens with a 2 racks. In fact, every single time he opens with a 2 racks, he loses. If he doesn't, I believe that's the 3 games he's won.
Yes, I actually believe you're right, yes, because the one game he won off of just a, that clever timing attack that we were talking about, he won another macro game, and then, of course, we saw the last one with the multi-pronged 3-base harassment.
So venturing away from those 2 racks has really proven well for Gumiho, and I think it's because the playstyle that we're seeing out of Creator, he's playing balanced. He's not playing traditional Creator. He's not opening Nexus first very often, which is something that Creator does, and Gumiho has been going for the 2 racks to try to counter that. Instead, we've seen Creator play this very balanced playstyle with only 1 Forge that he's uncomfortable with, but he's using it here because it works versus Gumiho, so Gumiho instead says, I'm going to play really greedy, so I have more than you.
And unfortunately, the first Colossus is not done yet, just actually popping out. And, Gumiho going to back away. That was actually a perfect moment for him to move in. Little did he know, of course, he didn't just want to charge into what could have been prepared Colossus position.
Yeah.
So, not like he necessarily should have gone for that, just that unknowingly to him, would have been a great moment to move in and do damage.
Creator has a very nice production tab now, though. He's got a second Forge on the way. He's got Colossus popping out, Extended Thermal Lances, +2 armor, Charge, Templar Archives on the way. But Gumiho's got Ghosts on the way, and 5 of them before the Templar Archives is actually even done. So both players here in very interesting positions. Overall, it's tough to call. Creator does have the supply advantage at this time, but Gumiho has already grabbed his 4th base.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
the 5th and 6th are actually coming up right now.
7's the lucky number for Gumiho. That's the number where he loses, actually. So.
We mentioned before, though, that you know, this is kind of Gumiho's trademark. It's very, you know, is it time to build command centers? Here's 12 of them.
Yeah, it really is.
And so
He'll actually fly them around the map, though.
Yes.
He'll actually do that.
Yes, he will. And he'll very aggressively start taking the space here in the top left, and likely the one down here at the bottom right, which he has already scouted out with his Banshee.
He's like, let me make sure it's clear for landing zone. Is that a term that pilots use?
I don't know.
There's landing zone in a pilot phrase, I know that.
Right, the LZ.
I sound so ridiculous right now to any pilot out there.
Well, there is the LZ, yes, as in the landing zone in military terms and stuff like that. But
I know that doesn't make sense. Clear for landing zone. Like, why would you say that? I really just feel like that's a phrase.
Well, there you go. Maybe some pilots can tweet at you.
They're gonna let me know,
you know,
and I'm gonna feel way better.
Let's see here, though. 4th base coming up for Creator. He's got a very well-rounded army, just sitting on that +1 weapons while his +3 armor ends up coming up, and the upgrade advantage does go to Gumiho for now, as it's just +2 armor for Creator. 2-2 is finished for Gumiho.
Yeah, he's 2 upgrades behind right now. This is not a time where Creator wants to fight, and this is an ideal scenario for Gumiho. I mean, he's already got the Ghosts on the field in order to deal with the Archons. Viking count is more than enough to deal with those Colossi, in fact.
Yeah.
And now he's maxed out.
There is a potential, though, for Creator to isolate these command centers a bit and engage in a nice choke point, and that's what Gumiho's going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, the Planetary is not going to finish in time here to deal with these Zealots. He's going to have to lift up. Stalkers will continue fire.
Yeah, just to make sure they light it on fire, because then that forces Gumiho to do something with it. Because even if it's almost at 500 hit points and it's just barely on fire, it's going to take an eternity, but he still has to do something with it and react to it.
Yep, drop a mule or 2 in order to make sure it gets repaired. Pylon going down in a very aggressive position here for Creator. He's got Gumiho's army in a beautiful choke. I don't like the amount of splash damage that Creator has, I think. I only saw 1 Templar.
Yeah, that's
the only one that I see. So 1 Templar and 2 Colossus seems very light on splash.
And Storm's not done yet.
Oh, what?
So not even close. So that Templar is only there for feedback.
That's actually something very critical to point out, Kevin, as the 2 Colossi and just a very low Archon count. Gumiho, I'm surprised to actually see him not pushing into this. It is an extremely narrow choke, though.
Here's a problem I have with Gumiho's army, though. He's got a lot of Vikings. He's got a ton of Ghosts. But look at this. He only has a smattering of Marauders, only 11 of those, and only, 20 or 31 Marines. So this is actually a pretty weak frontline army.
Well, he could be really good, Kevin, at playing Zerg and making Roaches, which would translate into Snipe being very quickly used by these Ghosts.
Right.
R. Never mind.
Oh god. Oh god. I see what you did there. That's a lot of Ghosts. So it's very good at taking out Zealots. It's very good at obviously the EMPs are going to be invaluable, cloaking them. But look, we have a photon cannon up at the front just to make sure that those can't actually be seen by anything. Scan goes down to see what's available. But Gumiho's composition, while a lot of utility, doesn't have a lot of strength.
All right, well, that Archon just lost a lot of its shields. In fact, almost all of it. Marauders continuing to poke for, deal with damage they can, but Zealots are not often... gets the snipe on the High Templar, though. That was only 1 of 1. We'll see if he can move in. 2 additional ones do warp in, but they do not have enough energy as the amulet was removed, of course. Vikings are continuing to cut in here. I'm waiting for this engagement to actually happen.
And at the same time, there's actually a little group of forces moving down to the bottom right. We'll look at that here in just a second, as EMPs do hit a lot of forces up at the front, and the Vikings should be able to dispatch of the Colossi very quickly, but they're actually going after a couple of observers there at the front that allowed the Colossi to get a couple additional rounds of shots in, and that may actually spell a little bit of disaster. All these forces are cloaked up, they're doing damage, but this could be a problem.
Oh, the cloak's about to wear off. The observers were, of course, sniped. What is happening with this army right now? It will not attack the Ghost. He needs to get out of the scan radius, doing what he can. EMP's going down on all those units simultaneously. We have a counterattack down here at the 3rd base of Creator. He is going to manage to clean all of that up. he's dealt a major blow to Gumiho.
Yeah, and despite the early command centers that were taken by Gumiho and the position that he actually gotten for himself, he's only mining off of 3 bases now, and his economy is actually a little bit in shambles compared to Creator, who has a full 4 bases at his disposal.
Yeah, I mean, can we even say he's mining? Let's take a look at his natural expansion. I think it may be mined out. It almost is. He's got very meager mining going on there. That base over in the 12 o'clock position is once again about to be targeted. No, Creator actually turns around. Sends his army back to the natural, but overall, there's a little bit of an engagement going down. Units will be falling back. Blinks forward. Does Creator. He's going to be able to snipe quite a bit of units here.
Yeah, and once again, we have that very large ghost count, but not a lot of sustain and not a lot of frontline power here. So I'm just very worried about Gumiho moving forward. His production is still decent. He's building 5 more barracks, but he's about to lose a base here to the left-hand side.
Yeah, Creator, this is his opportunity to strike by far. Look at he's got the Colossus, he's got 2 Immortals, countless Archons, tons of Stalkers, Zealots, and as you were pointing out, Kevin, there's not that much here for Gumiho. He's just got a ton of Ghosts.
All right, and down to the bottom right-hand corner, this base is found out, and that's what really Gumiho was waiting for there, just to make sure that he could get that up, match his opponent's production, but unfortunately has to shift units down there now just to be able to deal with that.
All right, well, the engagement is getting ready to commence. EMP is going down on the Archons in the front. Where are they going to land? The Ghosts are getting a lot of damage. They hit EMPs on all the Dark Templar, which is very nice for Gumiho. Ultimately, though, there is a lot of splash here. The Colossi are all dead, though, now. Gumiho is, it's hard to see his unit count under those medevacs. It looks like Creator's going to actually be falling back from this. His Immortal's getting targeted down extremely quickly. Archon pushing forward to the front, though, and the supply is actually now in Gumiho's favor.
Very impressive engagement from Gumiho as he was able to start rallying back some of those, more of the forces that he actually needed, I should say. He needed Marauders to be able to tank damage and dish out against armored opponents. He needed more Marines just to be able to make up the bulk of the DPS, and he finally got it. Banshee swinging in here, doing a little bit of damage, not going to be all that useful. Down to the bottom right, though, a DT is going to work on these units.
It absolutely is. The worker count substantially lower for Gumiho, but he was actually bringing in 3,000 minerals a minute just a second ago. His economy now dipping substantially. There's a lot of mules to die off and that, but he's going to be falling back from this attack right now. Creator has regained the supply lead at this point.
That's right, and has another Nexus coming in at the top left-hand corner. So Gumiho not really doing any mining off of this base now. He was able to, kind of burst mine off of that for a while with all those mules for a bit. But that's about all he's able to get done. EMP does hit a lot of charge lots, and that's going to make them pretty susceptible to this Bioforce. Oh, Ghost just running in and getting slaughtered, though.
Oh, there are a lot of SCVs right now. Gumiho is actually pulling all of his SCVs from all of his bases. I saw him coming from that lower base. We'll see if he can manage to clean up. He's actually taking out most of the splash damage. The Colossus is left. 135 supply to 114. Gumiho actually has a ton of bio units left over as he cleaned up that army. He lost most of his SCVs, but didn't lose those essential DPS bio in the back.
All right, so 128 supply to 112, as you mentioned. Another Colossus making its way up to the front, but getting picked off very quickly by these Vikings. No escape for that. It is going to die, and all of a sudden, Gumiho is on the warpath.
But this is his all-in of all-ins. I mean, at this stage, well, he threw away a lot of SCVs, but his mining is still pretty substantial, although his worker count is half because of all of those mules. We see reinforcements stringing across the map right now for Gumiho.
Yeah, but DTs down to the bottom right have actually denied that base. So a Nexus for a command center essentially is what it amounts to. Gumiho going to restart his mining up here in the top of the base. And man, you talked about those reinforcements. They just keep flooding by. Mostly Bioforces, though. Yes, 7 medevacs are up, but they are all out of energy.
No, they are, but they have done a good job keeping Gumiho's forces intact for the moment. A nice force contingent here for Creator, 130 to 130 supply. The Colossus is trapped in the front, though, right now. It's not getting a lot of damage in on any concentrated splash. A Marauder comes in from the back, takes out the Colossus all by its lonesome self, and Gumiho is going to try to pressure forward now and hit these retreating units.
Once again, just a huge engagement-based game as people are just punching each other back and forth across the map, but Gumiho
the spread
finally being dished out enough splash damage here that it looks like he's going to be pushed back. I mean, it's very difficult to fight in against these Colossi, but he sneaks in with another Banshee from around the side. The Banshee finally taken out, but not before it kills another Colossus, but there it is. Gumiho is pushed back down to just 51 supply, most of that tied up in medevac, so in the end, Creator does win that engagement and is now twice the supply of his opponent.
Oh, he is miles ahead of Gumiho, who is in a world of hurt. After stringing so many reinforcements across the map, we called it the all-in of all-ins. Now behind this is economy, just 28 workers, just 168 minerals a minute. I can't possibly see how Gumiho can come back from this deficit.
Oh, Oh, he repairs it up right at the very end, too. Oh, that was very, very close. So he's trying to make... He actually ended up making medevacs there in the end, but I'm not sure why he just queued up 2 medevacs, because he's got 4 and only 6 bio units.
Yeah, only 20 minerals here. Gumiho can't make anything, and Creator has double his supply. Creator just needs to push for the win right now. I mean, we take a look at his army supply overall, actually. Let's take a look at that. He's more than double Gumiho's supply, and Gumiho's is growing a little bit right now. He's bringing in, actually, this is actually pretty important. Creator needs to hit here. He's actually gathering up in the natural expansion. But yeah. Gumiho's bringing in some serious money right now. Although no gas, he's got 3K. All he needs right now is minerals.
That's right. So that's going to be his only concern at the moment. He could float down another command center down towards the bottom right if possible, because this one is in danger of dying once again. All those mules are dead.
There it is.
GG. Creator Prime takes the set. He is your 3-time Fight Club champion and has won himself another $500.
A really impressive set there between these two players. Creator wins it, though. I don't know, how did you predict this one, Kevin?
This one, I didn't know. Like I was telling Adrian before, I said that I couldn't call this because these are 2 of my absolute favorite players, 2 of my 15 favorite players for sure. I love watching them for very different reasons, and I was too scared to make a prediction. So I'm actually going to jump out on this one and say that I couldn't predict between these 2.
Okay, we've been talking about it a long time. The Creator Club, I think it's happening.
Yeah,
it's.
Oh, is it?
We're at the very. Oh yeah, we're just at the top of the hill, kind of gaining momentum.
Okay, well,
I'm wondering if it's going to trump the Hyunrun, man.
Ooh.
Creator, what I love here is Creator has shown his ability to adapt to his opponent's play styles extremely well.
Right.
His balanced play style here versus Gumiho is what won him this set. If he had continued to play the play style that he favors, then he would have died each of those times to the 2 racks with his Nexus first.
Oh, I agree with that. He was very...
I was sarcastic with the comment earlier. I just want to specify with Axel, I like 2 racks counters Nexus first really hard.
Yes, it does. In fact, you're dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it. Gumiho goes down. Creator's going to take the set. He's going to go up against Acer Nurchio next week. To the best of my knowledge, we'll certainly update you if that doesn't happen or if things end up switching. But Nurchio versus Creator should be a fun PvZ.
It's going to be incredibly exciting. Nurchio is one of the best foreigners out there right now, so I'm really excited to see him go up against Creator.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us tonight. Please do follow us on Twitter and Facebook as at IGNProLeague. If you liked our cast, you can follow us personally. I'm at Kevinaki. He is at Kibbles. Also, don't forget, pick up your absolutely free tickets to DICE and IPL 6 by heading over to go.ign.com/DICEIPL. We're holding a $10,000 tournament in Las Vegas at the Hard Rock Hotel next Thursday. All details on go.ign.com/DICEIPL. If you show up to the event, we'll then hand you a ticket to IPL 6.
Oh, yeah, and who would want to miss Scarlet, Violet, Grubby, and Lucifron? Not you! That's the answer to that question. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this evening from San Francisco, California. We wish you all a pleasant rest of your day.
This is your play of the day for Monday, January 28th, 2013.